All right. So, my best experience with a leader. I was in the Army for 7 years, from 1995 to 2002, and my best experience with a leader has to have been my tank commander in the Army. I was an Alpha Company, 1st Battalion, 8th Cavalry, and my tank commander was very um, just energetic and um, just just so inspiring. He took great pride in what he did. Actually, ended up being kind of a recruitment poster guy for the Army at one point. It was really cool to say that was my tank commander. um, but we were mine plow tanks, and so we would be at the front of the entire battalion, and our platoon was the front platoon, and so my tank was the first tank that would enter into a minefield on a battlefield, and my tank commander had great confidence and inspired great confidence in me, and actually that best experience actually kind of produced a kind of a low really in the military, because it was right before I deployed to Bosnia. It was 2 or 3 weeks before we left, and my tank commander actually became the platoon sergeant in another platoon, and that usually they would keep us together, but for some reason they didn't keep us together. I was his gunner, so you qualify together, you do all this training together. We did countless hours in simulation together, and that was like the most heartbreaking thing. But what I realized is that the confidence, the energy, everything kind of transferred to me, and it kind of paved the way for me to be a leader without him, which I really appreciated. One of the things that really stood out to me too with them is even at my lowest points, he wouldn't back down from being my biggest supporter. I remember one time I this is a confession time. I failed a Army physical fitness test, and I think it's only one time I did. And he yelled at me, obviously, but in front of others, he stood up and he said, "No, there's something about Rob," and he he left me completely inspired. And so it was just about a couple years ago. I remember I reached out to him. I found him. I did a little Facebook stalking and anyways looked him up. But I sent him a letter to his home, and I just said, how much of a leader he was to me, and how he inspired me and to be a better man, a better soldier, and told him a little bit about my career, and I said to him, I said, I'm sorry if I ever let you down. Um, sorry. Um, and he replied back and he said, well, he's a little more colorful. Your words than I would use right now, but basically he said that none of you guys ever let me down. He said you guys kept me going, and anyways, that was my best experience that obviously still affects me today. So, thanks.